Alright guys, we're back with another episode of the Metric Bobber Build. God, what is this, episode like 25? Had no idea it was going to take this many episodes to build this bike, but converting an old school CB650 into a hardtail bobber was way more work than I expected. Anyways, we're back on the exhaust today. If you remember in the last video, we got the exhaust fabricated. What I want to do today is wrap the exhaust with tape. And I wasn't going to make a whole video about this because I didn't think it was that involved, but after doing research, I'm like, wow, there's a lot more to it than I thought. We're going to go through the tools you need, the benefits of wrapping exhaust, which I didn't know about before, and then we're gonna actually do a wrap on the exhaust. And if you don't know already, we're giving the bike away at the end of the build series to people that support the series over on Patreon. Here's the link right here. And we've ordered a couple more prizes to the raffle. Any speed and strength helmet that you want. And the guys over at Cardo have kicked down their new Freecom 4 Plus communication system for your helmet. So yeah, this thing's worth like 250 bucks. Okay, so obviously the main thing to wrap the pipes is this twin power exhaust wrap. 2 inches wide by 50 feet long. I'm not sure yet if that's going to be enough. Then we have these metal straps to hold the tape down. A pair of scissors to cut the tape. Mask is sometimes a good idea because there is fiberglass in this right here. A pair of gloves so you don't cut your hands on the fiberglass. I'm using some VHT high enamel, high heat paint because my pipes right now are bare metal, and in order for me to wrap them first, I need to paint them first to keep them from rusting. This is the packaging for those metal straps. I got these and this from my guys over at tucker.com who sponsor this series. I guess the next step is we're going to sand the pipes and hit them with some black. All right, let's talk about the benefit of wrapping your pipes. What I learned is that wrapping the pipe with tape allows the exhaust to hold more heat. This is your valves. This is your cylinder. This is your piston. So basically what wrapping your pipes does is increases the exhaust scavenging. In other words, without the pipes wrapped, what happens is when your piston goes up, it pushes out 90% of the gases and oxygen, and there's about 10% left. So that means when your valve opens and it pulls in more gasoline and oxygen, that means there's only 90% space left for it to fill up rather than 100%. So with the pipes wrapped, it purges more of this 10%. So when you're pulling in fresh gas and fresh air, that means that you have more space here to fill up rather than 90%. More gas, more air, stronger combustion. I don't know if you really feel it. I mean, it could be hype. Supposedly, this is one of the benefits of wrapping your pipes. All right, so before I start painting these pipes, I'm gonna hit them with some 80 grit sandpaper just so the paint sticks better. I'm even gonna sand the chrome here because I want the paint to stick better. So let's do that. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention is you want to soak the tape in water. That allows it to stretch, and then when it dries it shrinks and it'll fit tighter. So let's get that in there, get it soaking, kind of open it up so the water gets all inside. Wow, there's a lot of black ink coming off this stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try doing this in the vise first. Make sure you put a rag here so you're not scratching everything up. I'm going to start with this end first, so I'm just going to clamp down the opposite end here. Just kind of hold it in place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right at this point here. I'm not going to wrap the end of the pipe here. I'm going to start with the cut in on the back side. This is the back side here actually, where you can't see it. And I'm going to come around and do one straight pass. I'm going to get it tight. That. And then what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm just going to use a regular zip tie to hold that because I don't want to use the metal straps just yet, because if I make a mistake then I end up wasting them. So I'm just going to zip tie this in place for now. So that'll hold it like that. And then we can just start working our way down the pipe. And what I want to do is I want to do about a 1/4 inch overlap as I come down. So it might take a couple of times around to get to a 1/4 inch, because you're starting straight, but then you're starting to go at an angle, and you don't want to just go at an angle, because then you're going to get like a wrinkle like that. So it's just, boy, this is going to be tricky. Come around like that, pull it tight. No, it's actually going to be more like about a 1/2 inch overlap. And you want to watch the spacing between here and here. You want to try to keep that consistent going all the way down. Otherwise, you're going to have a strange look. Now, the reason I'm starting at the back and going forward is because you see I have a ridge right here. That means the wind and the rain and the water will kind of shed off of it. If I start down here and come up, then that ridge will be on this side. And as you're riding, and the wind and the rain will catch that edge. Keep in mind too, this is my first time ever doing this, so not claiming to be a professional. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to stop the wrap right here, because we have this 2-into-1 and we can't wrap this, which is another reason I wanted to paint it black. So we'll stop here and clamp it. Okay, and then I'm getting near the end here, so I'm just going to cut probably a little more than I need to finish this, because it's so wound up here I can't really wrap it anymore. Right there. Then I can do a better job of finishing this off. And then it's finishing on the back side here. What I'm going to do here is, because this end is exposed, I'm going to fold it over about a 1/2 inch like that, so the threads are tucked in. And so it gives you a cleaner look, and it keeps it from fraying. So let's go ahead and zip tie that in place. Then we'll come back with the metal ties, later. And looks great. All the spacing here is even, about 1 inch. What we'll do now is we'll continue down here. This is going to be a little trickier because of these bends. The tape's going to want to lift and curl, but we'll figure it out. Clean up the frayed ends here first. This one we wrap this way, so we want to keep the same direction. Put the frayed end at the back. This is the outside here, so I'm putting the cut end on the back side. I can see all the fiberglass fibers in this tape, so you definitely want to wear your mask when doing this. Let's grab another zip tie. I can already see how I'm getting into this turn here. See how I'm getting this extra material right here. But as I wrap the tape around, it goes away because it just pushes it back down. So maybe we'll be all right. Keep pulling it tight. Yeah, not too bad going around that corner. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So now we're coming into this other bend. It's a little bit tighter than this one, not much, but it shouldn't be a big problem. We'll find out here in a minute. You can see too here how the tape wants to keep twisting as I go around. So what I did was I went down in the bucket and I untwisted it down in the bucket by just spinning it the opposite direction, because that's going to be something you're going to run into. The good thing is it's not dripping everywhere. I thought it was going to be really messy and just dripping everywhere. It's not really dripping at all. Being really careful not to get any big wrinkles in the tape. Then it's going to look crappy. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to stop at about 1/2 inch from the end, because I have the flanges on here. This is the outside, so I want to cut it so it's on the inside. And I want to cut it about a 1/2 inch long, because I'm going to fold it over 1/2 inch. fold it over about a 1/2 inch. So you have a nice clean edge right here, no fray. Keep it tight. Grab another temporary zip tie. Alright, I'm pretty pleased with that, so everything looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these metal straps now to replace the regular zip ties. And you can see it has this bulky piece here where it slides into itself. I want to make sure that's on the back side so you don't see it. So we'll just kind of wrap this around. I'll show you how I'm doing this here. Slide it within itself like this. See how it's kind of ratchets? You can hear it ratcheting. I want to make sure I'm back about that far so I'm not in the way of this flange at all. That should be good. And I can get it as tight as I want, and then what I can do is just spin it to get this out of the way. And as I'm spinning it, it's also tightening the tape. And there we go. Alright, so the only thing left to do now is do this pipe here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done. We'll come back, I'll show you the completed job with all the metal straps, and then we'll get this thing back on the bike. Alright, that was definitely a little bit of a challenge. I learned some things along the way, but it turned out pretty sweet. Let's take a look. One thing you definitely need to watch out for is how far up you come right here, because these right here, they need to be kind of back here. They're studs, they need to come back to put in the inserts and then get these back on. So I actually need to come back about another inch here, and I can take care of that because I already went too long one time. I've already brought them back. I was able to reuse these clamps, believe it or not. Now I ended up doing double clamps here because it looks cleaner. It holds down the 2-inch wide tape better. So for me to finish the other side, I actually need a whole nother set of these because it took 12 clamps to do this whole exhaust. Alright guys, I'm struggling a little bit with this exhaust. Let me show you why. See this break in the exhaust right here? This is where the two pipes come together. I'm struggling with that gap. It wasn't so apparent before I wrapped the pipe, but now that I've wrapped it, it's kind of bothering me. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this exhaust off. I'm going to put on the Mac exhaust option. I'm going to show that to you guys, and what I want you to do is I want you tell me which one you like better. You like the custom-made exhaust or you like the Mac exhaust? Okay, here's the Mac 4-in-1. You know what? I really like this system. This system to me looks really clean on the bike. I really like the 4-in-1 configuration. I know it's been tuned for this bike. It's already blacked out. My concern too is how the wrap pipes will hold up over time. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this episode. Don't forget, if you want to win the bike, go over to the Patreon, sign up. See you guys next episode.